welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Hillary. I'm from the Museum of Early Trades and Crafts in Madison. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make a really fun winter-themed craft that you can do at home. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our Wintertime Story Time, which is the perfect pairing for a cold winter's day. So I'm going to show you how to make your own sled ornament. And if you want, you can have your very own adorable snowman to go on the sled. So the supplies that you'll need for this are things you may already have around the home. You will want to cover your work surface with something. I just have newspaper down. You will need 8 craft sticks to make the sled. You'll need some kind of yarn or string or ribbon or something to hang your ornament, your sled with. You will need some kind of glue. Anything you have is fine. Just basic white glue will work just fine. You'll want something to decorate your sled with. I am using markers, but you can use crayons, paint, even colored pencils. Whatever you have will work just great. For the snowman, you're going to want a couple cotton balls, 2 or 3. You may want another piece of ribbon for part of the decorating of the snowman. You also may want some colored paper or something similar for the snowman. And if you have a Q-tip at home, they can make great arms for your snowman. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is start to decorate our sled. So you can see that I've already done some quick coloring of it. You can do much fancier decoration. I've just done some quick green color on the body of my sled. And then I'm going to just add some red to this, what's going to be the crossbar of my sled. But you probably want to spend a lot more time and care decorating your sled. So what you may want to do is pause the video and come back after you've decorated your sled. You can do both sides, the underside, all of it. So I'll see you after you finish decorating your sled. All right, so once you finish coloring your craft sticks here, you want to lay them out to get them ready to glue together. And the shape that I want to get that real cool shape of the sled is going to be 1 sticking up ahead, then 2, and then 2 more. So these 5 here. And we're going to put a tiny bit of glue between some of these. It'll help support it a little bit. But really the main thing that's going to hold these together is our crossbar. So that's the most important thing. You don't want to put too much glue between them or it's just going to glue it to the table. But what we're going to do, we're just going to leave it in that position and just separate it ever so slightly and put just the tiniest bit of glue between a few of these. Tiny bit of glue, really not much at all. And kind of push them together. I may want to move it around just to really make sure it's not gluing itself to my newspaper, my table. And now I want to do my crossbar. So I'm going to do a nice, good line of glue across here. So this you may want to be a nice, thick bit of glue. This is probably the most glue you're going to use for this entire project. Lay my crossbeam down. Glue dries clear, so don't worry if a little bit sticks out there. You can kind of adjust here. I'm going to make sure again that I'm not sticking to the table. I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit. Make sure it's laid out exactly the way I want it. And then we're going to just let that dry for a few minutes while we make our snowman. All right, so we've got our 2 or 3 cotton balls. 3 if you have them is best. And we're going to start with the head of our snowman because it's easier to do that and then add the other parts to it after. If you have any sort of Google eyes or anything, you can certainly use those, but I'm just going to put my eyes in with marker here. Works just fine. So 2 nice big dots for eyes of my snowman there. I think he wants blue eyes. And then for the nose, I'm just going to take this colored paper I have and just cut out a tiny little piece of a nose. It can be bigger if you want. Mine's pretty tiny here. You may want to do a slightly bigger nose than I have cut out here. But I've got a real tiny one, so I'm just going to have the tiniest little bit of glue. Oh, I even have dropped it. Tiny, tiny bit of glue on my nose that I'm then going to stick between the eyes there. So again, you can do as big a nose as you want. If you want to add a mouth or anything else you want, you certainly can do that. But then we're going to start putting together the body of the snowman. So And we're just going to take a little bit of glue, not much. See, you can barely see the glue. Stick it to the middle part. Same thing again, little bit of glue, and then stick the head right on. All right, we want to make sure we leave it in a nice position to dry before we move it around too much. And then I'm going to add a few other things here. So for the arms, if you have your Q-tip, you can ask an adult to help you cut it in half with scissors. And then you have your two halves. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some glue, again, just a tiny bit, little dab right there, and just shove my Q-tip right on into the cotton ball. The nice thing about cotton is it gives like that. Same thing on the other side, little bit of glue, shove my other arm in. I've got two arms for my snowman. The last thing I'm going to add is a little scarf using my little piece of yarn here. So I'm just going to do something real simple. Put it around my snowman's neck. Careful it doesn't get stuck or knock the head off as I go through. Tuck through the little ends. And there we go. I've got a cute little scarf for my snowman to wear. Okay, so the snowman can go hang out for a little bit and wait and finish drying the glue there. And we're going to come back to our sled. So it probably won't be fully dry. You may want to let yours completely dry before you do this, but I'm going to go ahead and carefully lift it up as you saw, flip it over, and now I'm going to be adding the runners. That's what those last two craft sticks were for. If you want to decorate these also, you certainly can. Again, the bottom you could have decorated. I just didn't do all those different layers, but you can decorate as much of this as you want. And these are going to be going right here, the runners that your sled is going to ride on. So, take my glue, run a nice little line right along the edge there. This will help maybe hold some things together as well. Stick it on. Nice line of glue down the other side. And stick that on also. Okay, so now everything's drying. Everything is just needing to be dried before it's ready to go. I can start putting on my string to hang my ornament if I want. You may want to get some adult help, just tying a little bit of a knot here. I'm going to just tie a little double knot on the edge. Oop, it's getting a little bit stuck. I'm going to be doing this on both sides. I'll come back to that knot in just a second. Tie this one over here. Again, you may want to get some adult help to get some real good knots tied there for you. And I'm not going to lift my sled up just yet because I know it's still fully drying, but I might just very carefully lift it, flip it over to show it off. And once everything's dried, once I get everything all tied on, then I can just glue my snowman in place where I want it. Same thing again, little bit of glue right in the middle, put the snowman on. Let's see if mine's dry enough. I think my runners are still drying, so I'm not going to do my snowman just yet. But once it dries, you can stick your snowman in place and be ready to go. So that's how you make your own sled ornament complete with adorable snowman. Thank you for joining us. Check out our story time, and we'll see you at the next craft.